On one fateful Wednesday evening, the 7th of November 2018, 50 people died while dozens were seriously injured in one of the most horrific traffic accidents in Zimbabwean road transport history. Involving two buses, one from Smart Express and the other from Bolt Cutter Stables, the accident occurred near Rusape Tollgate at the 160-kilometer peg along the Harare Mutare Highway. In this episode of the program, Behind the Story, we look at how the accident happened as well as the impact on the bereaved, the casualties, health delivery system, government, and the Zimbabwean community at large. Let's get behind the story.
The tragedy that visited the people of Zimbabwe yesterday is shocking. We are right at the scene of the accident, and this is the Smart Express bus. You can see the tragedy, really, the wreck of the bus. It's frightening. A lot of people came this morning to see what happened. And that other bus, the Bolt Cutter, is being taken to a garage somewhere in Harare. But the situation is that you can see there are quite a number of things. There is a shoe there. There are things here which indicate how horrific this accident was all about. You can see there is a shoe there. There are other shoes there. Another shoe. And the 47 people died on the spot here yesterday afternoon. The carnage on our roads need really to be tamed. These are the seats which were ripped off from the bus, as you can see. The back of the bus is here and the wreck of the bus is there. You could see the blood and other things. So really the carnage on our roads need to be tamed. This jungle needs to be tamed. My brother, Muruwade, nazo accident is. Ima muruba kwarade. Huh? Oh. Saka makando izgo zuro. Muone kuti zvi zvakaita. Ona zvinoita mabhazi kana right accident. Zvinototyisa kaizvo. Masitsi, butsu, madomasi. Mune fishumu. Oh. Rekati mboone kuti kwakaita sei kumiri kuna Bolt Cutter. Tikuona a lot of people are shocked. Imwe butsu. Unaona butsu. Ibutsu dzakapfekwa nevanhu idzi. Yeah. Hapana zvokuita.
Dear, you couldn't sleep last night.
Yes, that's very true.
As the person coordinating disasters in this district, what do you tell us?
It was really a tragedy which we faced yesterday. Two buses collided, and the other one was trying to overtake two haulage trucks. And this bus was coming from Mutare. And the bus belongs to Smart, which was destined to go to Harare. But then on the other side, we had this other bus from Harare, Bolt Cutter, which was also on its way to Mutare. So they clashed head-on. And we lost 46 innocent souls, which was quite a tragedy to us.
Superintendent Moe, you had a tough time yesterday, and I heard you had no sleep at all last night.
That is correct.
Could you briefly give us a brief synopsis of what really transpired, how many people died, and do you have an update or up to this morning?
Okay, what happened was that we received a report of fatal road traffic accident involving two buses that is along Harare Mutare Road at 160 kilometer peak. The accident occurred at around 17:30 hours, and it is said that 40 people died at the spot, and 5 of them died on the way to the hospital. And I'm told this morning another person died in the hospital, to make a total of 46 people.
So 46 have perished.
That is very true.
Not what has been reported that there are 47.
No, there are 46 at the moment. That's
46.
the correct figure, yes.
Others are saying it was head-on, but if you look at the other bus, it's not a head-on.
It is a side swipe road accident. It's not a head-on, but it is rather a side swipe.
A side swipe.
Yes.
And
chiitiko chaitika pano mudunhu redu reMakoni district chatirwadza nekuti mutyairi webhazi ringe richibva uko anga asina keya neutano hwangu, nekuti anzi abvirotaurirwa kubva kwaMutare kuti uri kunyanya kumhanya achingomhanya kusvikira azosvika patsaona yazosvika kuuraya vanhu vari kusvika 46 iko zvino tisingazivi kuti kumberi kwakamira sei. Asi chiitiko chatirwadza muno maMakoni.
Harare bolt cut yatadza kuti ikwanise kuti iende rimwe side nekuti yanga ichizvatarisana ndozvakatanga kugovana ipapo. And kuona kwetiri kuita apa ndezvekuti uyu anga achibva kwaMutare asi aifanira kunge avhateka pabhinzi because pane double collision musadhiraivha and pane blindness asi aifanira kunge adi avhateka ipapo. Ende zvinorwadza nekuti mukaona zvaitika vanhu mafiro aita vanhu apa voita 46 ende zvinodzimba mafiro aita vanhu vana nemadzimai nevarume zvinorwadza nekuti paita dambudziko rokuti isusuwo maonero ataita panapa ndezvekuti dai madhiraivha vemabhazi vaitira excise caution, but mumwe akachibva kuHarare tatinganyamupa mhosva nekuti papa angokarwa mota yatosvika padhuze.
Basi pane rakarara nekugwere raifusirei ropa. Saka chii chiri kuitika?
Saka Smart ainzi aiovertake gonyeti.
Smart aenda uko.
Smart aenda Harare.
Ndimi munobva manzwa kubva Harare marusape
tobva pamunda apa tobva warusape but tiuya pamunda kuona kuti zvakanzi Crofton chii.
inonzi Tofton here president Crofton. Alright. Inonzi Crofton
farm.
Saka makazvinzwa zuro.
Ndakatofonerwa nemunin'ina wangu kwaMutare. My brother phoned me because pafa vanhu
Tinodi mai
Ndikati no ina.
Nazo ngozi guys.
I have no idea what happened.
47 on the spot.
47 on the spot.
70 injured. Rari na botere. Murwadere mayo. I president dera na botere. Indiri mugananzara guys. Ora, mushe mayo. Makauya pano zuru ere. Wanhu wakati kata.
Failing infrastructure due to years of neglect and lack of maintenance has turned Zimbabwe's roads into death traps, posing high risks to motorists and passengers alike. However, this particular accident has been blamed on human error.
What could be the problem here? Was it a question of human carelessness?
Yeah, I want to believe that it could be an issue to do with the human error. That's what I want to believe. Because according to the people who survived the accident, they are confirming that the other driver was trying to overtake 2 trucks. And in the process, there was a collision.
And this is the driver who is missing.
I want to believe so, yes.
You are not a traffic person, you are not a policeman, but where do you really lay the blame for this carnage on our roads?
Negligence of our drivers.
Negligence. Human error.
Human error.
Neurombo nezvakaitika zviri kutitambudza kuti madhiraivha edu mweya wapinda nayo
Ngozi
idzi. Munhu angada kuovateka magonyeti 2 nebhazi zvinoita here 9 kumaroni. Doesn't work at all.
Speaking to relatives of the bereaved in Rusape Thursday, following the horrific accident that happened on Wednesday afternoon, was a tall order for this reporter, as all interviews had heart-rending stories of their dear departed.
Ana mai wetu na matano saka vari muchipatara saka mai wavo vakaenda kuhospital na mai wake kunenge kureview saka mai vacho vakashayika iye ari unongobvunza kuti mama wangu varipi saka mai vacho vatonzwa kuti varimo mukati kuma5 nakutoti mafamba mushere meseji aina kusvika ndopa vazofona murume wacho achiti havasati vasvika ndopa tazoona panews bhazi ravanga vakwira rachona ndoratikana panews richinzi raita accident.
We were only able to discover her because of the dress she was wearing. Her face was crushed. We could not even identify her.
How did you get to know about it?
Little.
Sorry.
The fateful day andakazozwa kuti my brother is no more. Handina chandiri kuziva, handina andiudza, phone haisi kudairwa, iri kuringa until yesterday about 4 o'clock. Ndipo ndakato-retriever phone yacho ichiri kuringa iri kumaoko epolisi kwaRusape. And polisi yacho pachezvayo kuti ite communicate haina kucommunicata. We had to send some other people vari kwaRusape kuti chekai kuti Douglas ari kwere, but no response yataipiwa iri definite until we had to drive kuenda kwaRusape. Ndikatosvika pascene of accident, and pascene of accident ndiripo ndakabva ndasangana neveherald vachibvunza kuti are you sure kuti your brother is passed? Ndikati my brother I believe panapa ndipo pari kunzi pakanhongwa phone yake. Saka ndiri kufungidzira kuti ari muchipatara kana kuti is amongst the dead.
Following the accident, Transport and Infrastructure Development Minister Joel Bigimatiza, accompanied by Manicaland Provincial Affairs Minister Dr. Ellen Gwaradzimba and the Provincial Administrator Edgar Sienza, among several government officials, toured the accident scene at Torish Farm.
The smart bus driver became overzealous as he wanted to overtake the haulage truck, and the wish vehicle which was in front of him.
After witnessing wreckages being removed from the accident scene, the ministers visited the close to 80 survivors at Rusape General Hospital.
Raimaya kumberi kwedu kwaka kune magonyeti 3 anga aripo. Saka paakaovateka rekutanga aya 2 aya haanozokwanisa kuti achaaovatekese kune raibva uku kuHarare.
Nomboziva kuti chii zvakaitika because driver odai mhanya ibve kwaMutare. Saka aiovateka magoneti 3 echingotseurwa nevanhu saka nziko driver uri kufamba sei. Saka haasaiteerera.
Ndangotenda nyasha dzaMwari kuti vakandichengeta.
Okay. Saka pa6 vemhuri pane vakashayikirwa neupenyu ipapo.
Tiri vapenyu makaguka gumbo.
Nina ndakatorara bhazi handina kuona kuti chii chakaitika. Ndakazotongoona vanhu vakutakurwa ndofanira 10 minutes ndiri mubhazi ndakafenda.
Meanwhile, the government quickly stepped in to marshal resources for the tragedy and mobilize support for the bereaved.
Did you manage to marshal resources to handle such a tragedy?
Sure, we quickly informed members of JOC and we were all gathered at the scene. And we ferried the injured within a few hours to the hospital and the dead later.
And it was done quite speedily?
Yeah, within at least 3 hours. We had ferried all the injured to the hospital. And we were only left with the dead.
We are fortunate that the 2 companies had insurance cover, as is required by law. And our civil protection unit in the ministry is now working with the Insurance Council of Zimbabwe, and all of them have agreed each bereaved family is going to be given $1,350 to assist in the buying of coffins, in the buying of burial graves.
We are at Rusape General Hospital mortuary. The 2 ministers are here, the Minister of Transport and the resident Minister of Manicaland. They have come to share their burden of grief with a lot of mourners who are gathered at the mortuary here. I'm handing over to the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Comrade Biggie Matiza. Comrade Matiza, please.
Isu hurumende tukunzwa kurwadzikana chaizvo nezvaitika. Tatini some Minister of Transport, the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, vabatsire nemari pachipatara pano. Batsirawo zvinenge zvichidiwa zvinoita kuti murongwa wese uri kuitika pano ufambe zvakanaka. Chitsigiro chedu sehurumende ndechekuti migwagwa yese iyi inge yakachengetedzeka nevanofamba pairi vafambe vakachengetedzeka. Saka ndoda kuti ndikusimbisei mhuri dzese dzafirwa kana kuti vakuvara venyu kana kuti vadischargwa. Aiwa, toda kuti tikusimbisei kuti tineni pamwe chete tichapfuura pese apa panjodzi iyoyi pamwe chete.
How did you cope after this horrific accident? Realizing
it was very difficult. It was very difficult, but our youth workers, they managed to make things happen.
How did you cope?
Team spirit, because the team worked together. Everyone who was around, they came and started helping. Those who had gone at home, they also came back and started helping. And all the doctors, they were here, those who were available, including our DMO. He's on leave, but they had to come back to assist. So that was actually what made us go forward.
Some of the injured who were still hospitalized hailed the treatment and assistance they had received so far.
Takangoti kusvika ndana toiswa mastitch, vana toya kunoko vandapiwa mapainkiller, and takabata zvakanaka. Vanhu manesi anotatenda, hapana nesi anorara even ukadana uchiti ndoda chakati gogo ukati sekuru ndoda chakati vanotatenda zvakanaka.
Takabatsirwa zvisingaiti.
vakatibatsira zvitogaiti nanhasi vari kuramba vari kungotibatsira.
The first 4 days presented a lot of pressure for Rusape Hospital following the tragic accident that saw 81 casualties passing through the health institution's outpatient department that also took care of 45 bodies of the deceased. Thanks to the sterling work by the hospital staff, by Sunday, most of the accident victims had been discharged, 15 transferred, while 4 were still detained at the hospital.
Okay, the situation now has improved. We're actually more in a stable case as we speak. So we had 81 casualties that passed through our outpatients department. Of them, we admitted 52 admitted into our hospital. Of them, 15 were transferred to Parengato Hospital. So that leaves the hospital with 4 clients that are admitted. Then the rest were either discharged or they were collected by their relatives.
The mortuary at Rusape General Hospital, whose normal carrying capacity is 16 bodies, was overwhelmed by the burden of the more than 40 corpses.
And we collected the mortuary at Mutare, at Rusape General Hospital was overwhelmed.
Yeah, it is overwhelmed, of course, because the carrying capacity, I'm told, it carries very few bodies.
And you had 40, over 40?
Over 40 bodies, yes.
And what did you do then?
Well, we managed to put the bodies in the mortuary. Perhaps we were making certain arrangements to ensure that we send some of the bodies to Mutare whilst we are waiting for the relatives to come and identify the bodies.
Eventually, all the bodies of those who perished during the Rusape Road accident were taken for burial by end of day on Saturday, with only 4 accident victims still being attended to at Rusape General Hospital.
Relatives of those who passed the on are gathered here to process papers for their bereaved ones in order to take them to their respective areas. A lot of them were really grief-stricken, and you could feel it. You could feel the somberness which characterized a lot of these mourners. Behind me here is the mortuary, and the doctors are there to process the papers, including the police, the district administrator. Everybody is here in order to facilitate these people who will be given state-assisted funerals.
Ndaenda kumuchari, ndichipinda mumuchari, ndakasvika mapurisa aya, they were welcoming. Ndobva vati muri kutsvaga ani? Ndikati Douglas Chamanga. Zvikanzi Douglas zita tinaro. Pindai mumutsvaki. Kwandiri it was horror. It was my first time to be in a mortuary, you know, vanhu vakarara pasi uchiita kutseketudza tsoka kuti uone kuti where is he. Ndipo ndakamuona, and he was badly injured, face deformed, a lot of fractures all over the body. Then I had to be strong. It was my first time to be in a mortuary. No one to inform me. The police did not inform me. Did not inform the close relatives. We had to send people, and vaona vaichika kudisclose message yekuti it's normal.
Meanwhile, the Zimbabwe Passenger Association organization members visited Rusape General Hospital, where they said there is need to regulate the transport sector to reduce loss of lives. They said the transport sector should not be free for all, but should operate under specific guidelines and standards to guard against speeding, among other vices.
This industry is not regulated. Anyone just do what he wants, willy-nilly, anytime they so wish to do it. And I think it's high time this industry is regulated and seriousness is given to it.
The police have since urged motorists to be extremely cautious on the roads.
I want to urge motorists to be very cautious, extremely cautious when driving on our roads.
Those who say the roads are so bad, that road is not bad.
The road is not bad. It has been recently resurfaced. It's not a bad road.
So it's just human error?
It should be a human error, yes.
The government has promised to take a serious look at strategies that could be implemented to curb the loss of lives on the roads.
Tichatora matanho akasimba chaizvo seministry yedu sehurumende kuti tigadzirise nyaya yemadhiraivha anokanganisa, anotadza kudhiraivha kutyaira zvakanaka, vanoita zvisiri pamutemo. Hongu tinoziva kuti kune vamwe vanotyaira vasina chitambi chakakwana, tikati fake licenses. Izvo tiri kuzvigadzira sehurumende. Tinana VID kwedu, muri kunzwa kuti taakuisa masystem ekuti zvinhu zvakadai izvi zvisaitike mangwana. Motikari dzinopinda pamugwagwa dzinofanira kunge dziri motikari dziri fit kuti dzifambe mugwagwa. Tiri kuona dzimwe ndo dzaakukonza njodzi dzakaita saidzodzi. Tine matanho zvakare atiri kutora atatanga kuita muhurumende kuti tigadzirise zvinhu izvozvo. Avo varidzi vemabhazi vanofanira kunge vachibata midziyo yavo zvakanaka. Ngave vari vanhu vanotarisa kuona kuti midziyo yavo pairi kubuda ichienda neari kuenda nayo ndiye here anofanira kunge achienda nayo, nekuti vazhinji madhiraivha ari kudhiraivha haasiriwo anenge ari anofanira kudhiraivha. Zvaa zvekumhanya zvokuda mari.